So, self-proclaimed prophet Shepherd Bushiri and his wife Mary are due in the Pretoria Magistrates court today to face money laundering and fraud charges. They skipped the country, you'll remember, just last week in contravention of their bail conditions and are now in Malawi. Yesterday, the Bushiris handed themselves over to authorities in Lilongwe after a warrant for their arrest was issued by Interpol. The pair have reportedly applied for bail, but the Malawian government has said that it will allow the courts to decide whether or not to extradite the couple. They've each forfeited their 200,000 rand bail in this country, and if they don't appear at the Pretoria Magistrates Court today, they could lose their home. For more on this now, let's bring in Ntsako Baloyi, who is the couple's legal counsel. Mr. Baloyi, thanks for your time. Welcome to the AM Report. We'll speak about the possible ramifications about today, but perhaps let's start on a point of clarity about what happened yesterday. Several reports about whether or not the Bushiris did in fact appear in court and whether or not they were granted bail. What do you know about what happened after they presented themselves to Malawian authorities yesterday?
Good morning. Good morning to the viewers. Thanks for the time. Indeed, yesterday they presented themselves before the authorities in Malawi. Unfortunately, due to the lateness of an hour, the bail proceedings could not proceed that side. They will do so today, and the court will have to decide whether to grant bail or not, and then we take it from there.
Right. And what charges are they facing in Malawi, Mr. Baloyi?
Look, there are no charges. It's an extradition process which has commenced. This is just in response to that.
All right. How much did you know about the plans from the Bushiris to actually leave for Malawi?
It happened so fast, not at the time where anybody expected. I understand that they felt their life was in imminent danger, and the only way out was to get out of the country, which people like me did not know.
So in other words, you were also taken by surprise that these people have skipped the country?
Yes.
Does it not then worry you that the Bushiris are taking decisions that could affect a case you're involved in without in fact consulting you ahead of that? Is it not strange to you that your clients are making these sort of decisions without at least informing their legal counsel?
It was worrying at the time when it happened and I complained about it. But upon their explanation, I realized that I've been part of their ordeal for the past 3 years. And I got to understand that had I been in their shoes, it's possible that I would have acted the same way. Because definitely they were being threatened, their life was in danger, and they were not safe anymore being here in South Africa. So it was either they lose their life, which is not desirable, or rot in prison, which again is not desirable for the crimes that they did not commit. So having that understanding and considering the fact that I've been helping them to report their torture by the police official, the extortion, and nothing came forth from authorities here in South Africa. So their life was not that smooth anymore. It was tough for them.
Are you able to share with us some of the evidence to these threats, the ways through which they were being tortured whilst here in South Africa?
Look, I don't think there's nothing that South African citizens don't know, because I remember Sunday World came full force and publicized everything that they're going through. Other than that, I can say we have various affidavits that we have written to authorities, which maybe we can share with you. There are also various case numbers where we open against these extorters, against the police officials, several complaints that we've launched. We've kept all that in record in essays as available. And you'll note that at some point their offices were broken into, and then on to find there later it seems like it's authorities who broke into the office, which doesn't make sense. Then, as a result, we also open a case on that. So there are a number of issues which happen over a period of 3 years, basically. So this time, I think it was just unbearable.
All right, we'll get to today's court case in Pretoria in just a moment. I just wanted to get your view on this. You, as an officer of the court, granted, you weren't aware that the Bushiris, in fact, had a plan to leave the country. Now that this has happened, what is your take on the strategy they have taken, considering the fact that, in fact, these individuals have broken the law?
Look, I can't say I promote people taking the law into their own hands, but in this case, I believe it's an exception, considering that they've done everything within their power. They've done everything within the law to make sure that they get the protection and the security that is reasonably expected from any individual who has constitutional rights in this country. So realizing that it doesn't happen, I've come to accept that what they did, surely it is justifiable under the means.
All right. Let's talk about today then. If they were in the country, would we be expecting them to appear in court in Pretoria? That's unlikely to happen. What is then the strategy from your end to try and, of course, ensure that your clients are eventually acquitted from the charges they're facing?
Look, I don't want to be ahead or preempt. All I can assure you is that we're legally ready to do whatever it takes to make sure that at the end of the day, justice prevails for them and not any form of injustice. It is desirable that should they come back to South Africa, their trial should be fair. And this is one of their demands, and this is not an unreasonable demand. It's everybody's constitutional right that they be treated fairly. So I believe we have enough legal muscle to proceed along those lines and not allow any abuse, as they've suffered abuse in the hands of the state authorities.
All right. But to ask plainly, the Bushiris won't be appearing in court in Pretoria today. That's your understanding too?
Look, that is virtually impossible and impractical for them to appear. And I don't think it's something that is within reasonable bounds for them to do. And it's not part of what I can say can happen that easily. I'm just trying to think at the top of my head and looking at any possibilities, but to me it's virtually impossible.
Well, they could appear via video link, but I guess we know that's not going to happen. Thank you so much for your time and for letting us in on what you know. Certainly appreciate it. Ntsako Baloyi is the legal counsel for Shepherd Bushiri and his wife. So many considerations still to be made. It's a story we're watching quite closely for you.